Hello. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to my great-grandpa's funeral. He's my best friend, Destiny's grandpa, and I didn't want to not make a video, but at the same time it's kind of weird filming at a funeral. So I had this idea. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I had an idea that maybe I'll give people my camera or like just ask them what their favorite memory about Grandpa was. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I feel like instead of being sad and awkwardly filming a funeral, because I want to remember it, as weird as that sounds, I'm getting emotional. But I don't know, I just thought it would be a good way to remember instead of being sad, and I don't know how well it's gonna go, but that was just my idea, so I'm leaving now, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'll see you later. Or other people will see you later. Somebody will see you later.
They'll get it done, but it won't happen.
That is very pretty. It is. But I mean...
Yeah, better late than never, but it took 2 weeks before they ever put the headstone on.
Is this
I like you. Really cool. I like you. I like the wit.
You're so cute.
Is this going on YouTube?
Yes.
I got a memory.
I'm pretty sure he
Hold
would
on,
not like
see
that
memory.
What else is there? I don't think. Hold on. I can't think of anything
Alright,
else
let's
right
get
now.
with the real high-class memory right now. I remember some like holiday, or maybe it was my birthday, I got fucking Scooby-Doo and the ancient pyramids from great-grandma and great-grandma. And I'll never forget that.
Yay! It was a big difference from Brianna. There we go.
I got that from the great-grandparents too. Thank you. So I came down March of, I think it was 2013. Yes, it was, because the wedding was 4 months later. 5 months later. Came down. It was after Grandpa had his first fall, and Eric and I weren't really thinking about still having the wedding. And then he came in and sat with me, and he said, "I'm still walking to walk you down the aisle." So I looked at my friend and I said, "I guess we're planning a wedding." So we threw a wedding together just for Grandpa, just so he had that privilege of doing that. Okay, bye.
I'm not sure if I really have. I don't know if I have a specific like favorite memory with Grandpa, but I would love the stories he would tell. Especially, he told me multiple times about when he first met and proposed to Grandma, and he would tear up and cry every single time he told the story, and that would always get to me, and I really liked that. And like, I knew him less time than the rest of the people in this video, but he meant a lot to me, and he told me that he loved me like a son, and I loved him like a real grandpa. And I'm kind of sad that I can't really think of a specific favorite memory, except for, I guess, the time that we took him to Disneyland was really special. So that's my favorite.
Okay, so my favorite memory is the very first time that Grandpa saw me in my security uniform, and he told me that I looked beautiful, and yeah, I know. It was the first time that I was pretty sure I made him proud of me, and I love him very much. But I think that's my favorite memory. Okay, I'm done.
Well, that mouth's got me crying. No, I want to say my favorite memory is funny. First of all, because Grandpa was a crazy driver, and he taught Destiny how to drive, which is why she's a crazy driver. But we went to the mall. Grandpa picked us up. I forget how old we were, probably like 16 or 17. And when I was getting in the back of the car, I dropped my shoe. And I leaned out of the car to get the shoe, and Grandpa just started driving away while I was hanging out of the car. So, I don't know, just let my memory, whenever I think of Grandpa, I think of him trying to drive away with me leaning out of the car. So, that's my favorite. And also just because without Grandpa, I would have never met all of my best friends. Because I love them all. So, that's it. I blame you, Mel.
Well, you weren't supposed to cry.
Wait, am I allowed to use bad language? I don't, because
Whatever you want.
My favorite story of Grandpa is the time that he was talking to me and he was asking me how old I was, and I was like, I'm 18, Grandpa. And he was like, oh, do you know about the birds and the bees? And I'm like, yeah, Grandpa, I know about that. And he's like, okay, well, don't be a whore like Destiny's mom. And I was like, Grandpa, what do you mean? And then my other favorite was, we were on our way to Aubriana's wedding, and we stopped at Denny's, and he wanted Tabasco so bad to take back to the apartment. And Great Grandma's like, oh, we'll stop at Walmart on the way back. It's okay, we'll get you Tabasco. And you look over at him, we're eating, and he grabs a bottle of Tabasco and tries to stuff it in his jacket. And I can't believe he's gone. Even though it was getting to the end, it's still devastating. And I'm just glad that we're all here for it.
Okay. I'm not gonna repeat what Aubriana just said to me, but she explained the thing that I'm gonna talk about. So, when I was little, Grandpa had, it looked like a horn, okay? It looked like a horn. He had it on a paper. We were at breakfast, and I was eating cornflakes, and he had showed me this thing that looked like a freaking horn that came off his damn head, and it was on a paper towel. And I just remember after that, I could not eat cornflakes for the next, like, good 5 years.
Cornflakes.
I still probably can't do it. It still makes me uncomfortable. Alright, and that is my memory. That is so sad, but...
Medical fun fact, it could have been a skin cancer.
Probably was.
So about 10 years ago, I got an email from Linda, which I learned last time I came down was spawned from Tabitha, and the reason I now know all of you. I came down here, and it was a little frightening for me. You know, I'd been out of the family for 17 years, and I didn't really feel like part of the family until we went to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and Grandpa answers the door, and he goes, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Aubriana, you know." And he goes, "No, you're not." He goes, "This is my Aubriana." Pulls a picture of me out when I was a baby. Then he, like, pulled me into a hug. And at that moment, like, I knew I was with family. I really loved him. But I don't feel like I was robbed of those 13 years with him.
Thank you, Tam. Terrible idea, this video.
Oh god. Where do I start? What do I say? I look at pooping in my hands. Of all the memories. There was this one time that I got mad at Grandpa. I don't even remember what it was, but I think Grandpa was bugging me and telling me to go to bed or something, and I told him to shut up. And he was like, "You never tell me to shut up." And he didn't talk to me for 2 days. And I had to apologize my butt off to him. I'm like, "Grandpa, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to." And he was just all like, "It's okay. I forgive you. Just think twice about it, okay? Don't tell me to shut up again." And I never did. And I'll remember that forever. Never tell your elders to shut up. There's too many memories, and I can't share them all. And he taught me how to drive. He threatened my boyfriends. He loved the crap out of Travis.
It's the only one, like, he didn't threaten.
He threatened him too.
But not as bad as the
He
others.
threatened to kick me out of the house a few times, but then,
But you didn't get the shotgun.
no, I
Yeah,
never
get
got
the
the shotgun.
shotgun story. Yeah. So, yeah. I love taking care of him. I wanted to quit my job. could be there with him all the time. Because I don't like anybody else taking care of him but me. Nobody did it right. Nobody took care of him like I did. Except, you know, the caregivers.
And me.
And
Even I didn't do
Travis,
as good a job as he does.
Yeah. And Mel, yeah. You know. But now I have grandma. I mean, I always had grandma, but
You still have her.
he's still here.
I guess if I had to pick a favorite memory, that might just be a little too difficult right now, but my personal thing is that when I made Grandpa his goodies and I brought them to him, the smile on his face was...
What were the goodies?
The goodies are marshmallows, and he loved all flavors. He'd take them in any flavor, and he said that they were the best in the world. And I think he's right, but actually, he's the best in the world. So, love you, Grandpa.
So it's going to be hard for a best memory, but first of all, I'm dressed sort of in honor of Grandpa, hoping that he realizes I got my hat in Texas and such, but he used to call me his best friend, so I'd like to, you know, that was quite an honor. And I guess I enjoyed watching the Westerns with him, you know, sitting there.
What did he say? The New York and Texas thing.
He used to say that he was a man from Texas and a man from New York met in California to set things right in the West. And if he was the marshal, I would be his deputy. So I guess, you know, there we go. But yeah, I enjoyed watching the Westerns with him and having him smile, laugh, and tell a tale. But I'll just say today, happy trails to you, Grandpa.
What's your favorite memory of Grandpa?
When we went to bed, we held
I guess I should tell all of you.
and he would say his prayers and I would say my prayers and we held hands until Grandpa fell asleep.
So I would also be staying away
And my
from
hand became numb.
on the
That's
last
when
piece is
when I
something
just
chair. So if somebody doesn't take this, it's getting thrown away, it's chair. It's a
went away and they put this on his side.
everything was very
But we did that
that box.
every night.
Tell me the story about how Grandpa proposed.
He proposed. He wrote my dad asking for my hand.
He wrote to your dad?
Uh-huh.
And then what did you tell your dad?
He got the letter, and it was so long. He said, "Here, you read the rest." And then he wrote to me, and that he wanted to get married.
And you said, yeah, you wanted to marry him?
Yes, and then he sent the two uncles to make it official, and they came and talked to my dad, and then my dad called me and said if I wanted to marry him. I said yes. So he gave the answer yes.
Good.
And then he told when they left, he went to the dining room and my mom was there and said, "How did it go?" And he said, I gave her, or else he'll call the police.
You would have called the police on your dad if he didn't let you marry Grandpa?
That's what he said. That's what he said. No, I wouldn't. So,
That's good.
yeah.
Alright.
So he came in a couple of weeks. We decided, I told him I wanted to get married on Christmas Day, and he said yes. And we had to find, those that I wanted to be the bridesmaids and that.
Good.
And they have the picture.
Okay.